So, for the last couple of weeks, we've been taking time to figure out how much this season of life will cost us. I don't know that the average person does that when they're anticipating retirement. They don't actually put a price tag on what their desired lifestyle will cost. So we did this in steps. First, we took the time to list out our life inventory, all the things that we would like to do during this season of our life. Then we followed that up with putting a price tag on those things. We did a rough estimate, included a buffer in case for some unexpected expenses. Now we're at the point to see, based on how much we've saved, no matter what that dollar amount is, do we have enough to fund that lifestyle? And if we don't, now it's time to start thinking about other alternatives. What's going to bridge the gap between what we have saved and what our lifestyle is actually going to cost? Social Security benefits, no matter when you claim them from age 62 to 70, even if you're single or married, will probably, and this is just a blanket statement, will probably not cover 100% of your costs. It was never designed for that. It is a supplement. So whether you've invested, there were some rough years in the market, whatever the case may be, however much you've saved, if you haven't saved, this is why you're taking the time out to see, what do I have, what do I need, and how do I move forward? Because we can't go back. I'm Sherry from SherryLouMiller.com, and I've been focusing on the third act, who we are now in this present moment. What do we want now for this season of our life? I'm living a possibility-driven lifestyle. I'm not worrying about certainty. I'm not worrying about someday. We're focusing on the now, and we're stepping into living on what's possible. Not what we should have done, what we could have done, but what is still possible in this season of our life and how we're going to make it happen. So let's take a look at Lucy and Tanya, the two women we're going to use in this scenario. So I'm going to take into account two women. One is Lucy. She's going to retire at age 64. We're going to do a couple of different scenarios of how much she has at different levels in her savings, as well as based on last week's video, the monthly retirement lifestyle was about $4,900, so we're just going to round up to $5,000. Then we have woman two, which is Tanya, who has decided to wait to age 67 because at full retirement age, she no longer has the earned income restriction. She can make whatever she wants, doing whatever she wants, consulting, still working, whatever. She has a little bit more flexibility because she's at full retirement age. This will not take into account investing. It won't look at what your portfolio is, how much you're earning, any of that. This particular demonstration will only take into account what your expenses are, how much you've saved, and about how long your savings will last you. And like I said before, is to give you an indication if you have not saved enough, which is the case for quite a few of us, what options you have and to start planning, because it's not over. You're still in the game. You just have to pivot. Now you have to look at your current circumstances, where you are now. What are you going to do from here? Not what you should have done, what you could have done. What are you going to do now? So let's get into the demonstration. See, take into account Lucy and Tanya, both at different ages of retirement and different circumstances. So several weeks ago, I did a video demonstration of this spreadsheet. I'm not going to do that again, but the link, if you want to see it, will be in the description. So we're going to name our first person Lucy. She is age 64. We determined that the monthly expenses, based on last week's video of taking an inventory of your life and then assigning a price tag to that lifestyle, was a little less than $5,000. So we're going to round up. At age 64, approximately a little over $2,000 in retirement benefits. That puts a gap for her of a little less than $3,000. $27.80. We're going to start low because maybe for whatever reason she entered the workforce late, she didn't start saving till late. She has $150,000 set aside for her retirement years. At this age, based on the lifestyle she wants to live, that's only going to take her to about age 68. Under the current restrictions, until she's age 67, based on 2026, the earning limitation is $24,480. So she could earn up to a little over $2,000 every month without having any penalties, any reduction in her benefits. If she does that, but that's assuming to age 81. She may not want to work until she's 81. So we're not going to get into, because that gets into estate planning, retirement planning, a little bit more than this video is about. This is just to give you an idea because, like I said earlier, a lot of us have not saved as much as we need to have saved at this point to cover our lifestyle expenses and retirement. And Social Security was not meant to be 100%. It's a supplement. So in this case, at 150,000, she'd have to work all of those years at $2,000 a month. That would still get her to age 81. Keep in mind though, because now she's still earning income, she can still contribute to retirement plans, whether that's a Roth. If she's a small business owner, she'd have access to a SEP IRA, which allows more per year for contributions, as well as they have solopreneurs. I forget the exact name of it, but it's a 401k Roth for small business owners. Now, these are type of things you'd have to talk to a professional about, whether it's a financial planner or someone. But there are other options because you are still earning income. Now, at age 67, 3 years from now, this limitation will no longer apply. If she's a business owner, sky's the limit. She could earn whatever she wants, and this number may change because now she's earning more per month. So even if she took it to 5,000, she's more than covered. But let's just take this off and say she was a little bit more aggressive with her savings. Now at $250,000, not taking into account that she's earning any other income, that gets her to age 71. Still a 19-year difference if we're taking the life expectancy to 90. So this just allows you to see what type of planning you need to do if you don't believe you've saved adequately for your retirement lifestyle. It's not to lay out a roadmap of what you need to do. It's just a starting point to give you an idea of approximately how long your current savings will last. This doesn't take into account what you're invested in, how much year-over-year growth. All of that is much more detailed than this simple spreadsheet was designed for. Now, that was Lucy. Let's just say woman number 2, Tanya, has decided to wait until she's 67 to claim her benefits. Now, we're not taking into account that she worked to 67 or anything. She's just waiting until 67 to claim her benefits. Her benefits at age 67, we'll say they'll be roughly $2,780. The numbers switch. Now she still has a gap because she's estimating a lifestyle of $5,000. At $250,000 at age 67, that's only going to last her to age 76. But Tanya has reached full retirement age. So this other income, she has no limitations. She can earn whatever she wants, whether it's a part-time job, whether it's consulting, whether she's running her own business. She can earn any amount per month and it will not affect her benefits. But just like Lucy, once she starts earning income, from whatever source, she's able to still contribute to her retirement plans. So to create a detailed plan of how you can increase this number in order that it lasts you longer here, you should speak to a retirement planner, an estate planner, financial planner, some type of planner. But this is to show you, you do have options, even if you, up until this point, have not saved enough to carry you to age 90, to age 85, whatever you think based on your health, your family's history, your life expectancy. The reason I typically use 90 is because my mother's family, they live in their 90s. So that's why I've used that as a gauge. But this is just a very simple illustration. If you put in what your expenses are and everything, like I said, you can go back, you can watch the other video to see more details about how to use this spreadsheet, but it gives you an idea, if you don't think you've saved enough, how long your current savings will last you. So based on that, you can see that Lucy, by leaving earlier, she's got a little bit more work to do. She's going to have to take a little bit more time in her decision-making process, whereas Tanya, by waiting to age 67, she has more options as to what she can do as far as her earnings, because there are no limitations. With Lucy being at age 64, she has 3 years where the earning limitation will apply. She will not be able to just earn any amount of money without being penalized. This doesn't take into account, I did another video where when you're collecting Social Security, there are some tax implications. So we're not doing a deep dive on that. But like I stated earlier, this is just to show you if you have a gap between what you've saved and what your expenses are, how much of a gap do you have, and how long will your savings cover that gap? And what other choices do you have, because you're still in the game? Especially if you decide whether you're Lucy or Tanya, because more than likely you're going to have to earn additional income if you haven't saved adequately. You can't save yourself out of the gap. You're going to have some income to bridge the gap. How much that is and how you earn it, that'll be up to you. But you're probably going to have to continue to work. I've reached out to Christina. There's a channel I follow who she is in this situation. She has not saved enough. She doesn't have any savings. She doesn't have any retirement plans. So her channel is all about helping midlife women, or people, I guess, earn income to pay for their retirement years. She's only, I think, age 55 or 56, so she has a little bit more time, plus she's not even eligible for Social Security. So the earning limitations don't apply to her. She said that I can share her channel, so check it out here. The link will be in the description. I follow her for ideas. If you're thinking about earning income during this season, you might want to check it out too. But like I said, the thing that you should keep in mind is, because you still have earned income, you still have the option to contribute to your retirement savings. Now, this is something you really should talk to a planner about, and I keep stressing that because you don't want to do all of this and then have this huge tax bill. So take into account which type of retirement plans are beneficial to your situation. And the reason I started with the Roth is because Roth just has a little bit more flexibility to me. You don't have the RMDs, the required minimum distribution, because you're contributing with after-tax dollars. And if they're in the account for 5 years, they're different tax implications, because the growth is not taxed when you pull it out. Your contributions, because it's after-tax dollars, if you take those out, they're not taxed. But there are some changes, I think, that have happened with the Roth, as far as your income limitations and kind of phasing out how much you can contribute each year. So these are things you either have to do a deep dive on yourself or talk to someone. Traditional IRAs, they're a little different, because at the RMD required minimum distribution age, you got to start taking money out at that point. So that affects your taxes too. So Taxes are more than I want to discuss, and everybody's situation is different. I'm bringing it up because I am recommending, well, not recommending because you probably thought about it too. You can't save your way to having adequate money to retire if your gap is really big. You're going to have to fill the gap with income. Income implies some type of taxes, because especially if you're collecting Social Security. Talk to a planner. Check out Christina's channel that's all she talks about is earning income during this season. I hope this video has helped you. Got a little longer than I wanted it to, but there were a couple of issues I wanted to drive home because I didn't put my disclaimer on there. This is not financial advice. Everything here is for illustrative purposes only. Your unique situation will dictate what type of retirement plans you invest in, if you invest, how much you earn, etc., etc. Have a good one. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you in the next video.